Hello, welcome to World News Today. Here are the top breaking stories for you. Trump order hold on military aids days before call with Ukrainian President. Trump committed treason and the penalty for treason is death. Trump unleashed his talking more and tweeting more. President Donald Trump asked his acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, to put a hold on millions in military aid to Ukraine roughly 1 week before a call with the Ukrainian president in which the pressure the country in the investigation former Vice President Joe Biden's sons. Two senior administration's officials said on Monday. Trump was primarily concerned with the corruption in Ukraine and Europe shouldering more of the financial burden for supporting Ukrainian defense. According to one of the officials, there is no evidence of wrongdoing by either Joe and Hunter Biden. The Washington Post was first to report that Trump told Mulvaney to put a hold on almost $400 million in military aid for Ukraine, quoting three senior administration officials with the knowledge of the internal deliberation. The Post said officials at the Office of the Management and the Budget passed along Trump's request to the Pentagon and the State Department at the intelligence meeting in mid-July. According to the paper, administration officials were told to tell lawmakers that the delay in aid was the result of an integrity process without giving more information. Now to Trump's order to withhold aid to Ukraine ahead of the July 25 call may trigger question and speculation about the president's motive to going so. On Friday, CNN reporter Trump expressed Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky in the call of the investigation former Vice President Joe Biden's son, Hunter. According to a person familiar with the situation, that call was part of the whistleblower complaint submitted to the Intelligence Committee Inspector General. Another person familiar with the situation told CNN. Trump on Sunday said that he did in-depth discussion by the Ukraine president at the time when the country was awaiting in the aid package from the United States, but they denied doing anything improper. The growing controversy has brought House Democrats near a tipping point on the impeachment as the party waits how to respond to the incident. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who spearheaded her rhetoric over the weekend, is still not committing to moving forward with the impeachment proceeding, though she is keeping the door is open. Former Massachusetts governor and long-shot candidates for the GOP nomination for President Bill Weld on Monday accused President Donald Trump for treason for pressing Ukraine president to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden, and the state bluntly the penalty for the treason under the US code is death. Talk about the pressuring a foreign country is in fray with the control of US election. It wouldn't be clearer, Weld said in an interview in MSNBC Morning Show. And that's not just undermine democratic institutions, there is the treason. The treason pure and the simple. The penalty for the treason under the US code is death. That's the only penalty, Weld added. The penalty under the Constitution is removal from the office, and that might look a pretty good alternative to the president if he could work a plea deal. Weld's comments come amid mounting scrutiny of the Trump after he acknowledged discussing Biden, his son Hunter, in a July call with the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The call was part of the whistleblower complaint submitted to the Intelligence Committee Inspector General. Another person familiar with the situation told CNN. White House officials are now considering releasing a transcript of the call. Multiple sources have told CNN there is no evidence of wrongdoing by either Joe and Hunter Biden. Article 3 of the Constitution defines treason as living war against the US and in adhering of the enemies, giving them aid and comfort. The President, the Constitution says, shall be removed from the office or impeachment for and conviction of the treason, bravery and other high crimes and misdemeanors. US Code of State, individual found guilty treason shall suffer death or face imprisonment. a fine and shall be incapable of holding any office under the United States. Weld made the comments in a joint interview alongside two other Republicans challenging Trump for the GOP nomination. Former Congressmen Joe Walsh and Mark Sanford. Donald Trump needs to be impeached, Walsh said, and Bill Weld just said he told a foreign leader 2 months ago the inference in the 2020 election he needs to be impeached. Sanford, who also served as governor of the South California, echoed Weld and Walsh's strong rhetoric. I think you know where the three of the US are his larger debate, he said earlier this month. All three GOP challenges painted on opened in the Washington Post, lambasting state Republican leaders and the Trump for opting to cancel 2020 presidential primary election in a show of support of the president. The primary nomination process is the only opportunity for the Republican to have a voice in deciding who will represent our party, they said. Let those voices be heard. The cancelled parameters underscores the difficulty the long-shot candidates will have in challenging Trump, who, across to the CNN and SSRCS poll this month, has 88% approval rating among the Republicans. For better or worse, we are getting more Donald Trump these days. If you feel you are hearing the president's voice all the time, you are not imagining things. Trump is talking and tweeting more 2020 than he did in 2018, which was in turn far from talking and tweeting than he did in 2017. Trump has been posting more of his own tweets and more retweets of others. His campaign's release he had been longer. He spent more time talking to reporters before his helicopter and plane flights. And he is just talking more in general. About 25 minutes a week more on camera this year than through the same time last year. The White House did not respond to our request for an explanation, but it is not hard to say what's going on. The increases have come as Trump has rid himself of the most of the advisors who repeatedly tried to constrain his impulses, like the Chief of Staff John Kelly and Defense Secretary Jim Mattis, and as he has appeared to be become even more comfortable behaving as he wishes. This is Trump unlisted. All of the data below is currently of the Bill phishing of the Fativa C and indispensable website that tracks Trump's every utterance. That's all for today. Thank you so much for staying with us.